And I can't hold it much longer. Gotta let go so I can be free.
Here we go, FT. Kratz is yachting. I don't know what he's doing. He's vacationing the rest of the week. He's getting himself mentally prepared for the postseason. So let's bring in our touchdown aficionado, our touchdown maker.
It wasn't really a touchdown maker because, I mean, no offense, Kip, but when you do that, man, they got to win, bro. You can't have them show up and not win. I mean, yeah, it's cool they scored the first play, but after that, your mojo was out quick.
It burned out fast. That candle burned out fast. I did my job. I'm going to still stand by it. So we went to the Browns game. I know we got a little clip of it. Here we go. So it's an honor. It's an awesome thing to be able to do this in Cleveland. They really pick them. They really pick the best of the best. I'm just going to say that. That's all. But no, it was a lot of fun. The crowd got hyped. And they kicked off to the Giants, and Giants fumbled the ball. Browns score first play. So I have to do an interview right in the little tunnel behind me right as the game is starting. And even before the first question is asked, Cleveland was up 7-0. So my job was to hype the crowd up and hype the Browns up. And to be up 7-0 in 5 seconds or 10 seconds into the game, I feel like I can say that I did my job, AJ.
Would have been way worse if they didn't get that opening touchdown.
True, it could have been a lot. Yeah. I mean, they might be able to use you under center next week. I'm just saying.
Is Watson still the quarterback there?
Yeah, Deshaun is still there.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of thoughts there.
Oh, well. It was a blast, though. It
was awesome.
Guitar on the hand, too.
What?
Yeah, we cut my hand on the guitar, too, like from the smashing it. I didn't realize that.
Too hard?
And I was like going to wipe it off, and then I just realized I had a bunch of like blood on my hand. When you're getting hyped up, anything goes.
Yeah, right. Workman's comp for Kip.
You think when those dudes on stage smash those guitars like Kip did, they bleed a little bit? They're like, hold on, need a boo-boo, need a little Dora Band-Aid.
No, they get in fights. Did you see that one fight?
Did.
Yeah.
Jane's Addiction, that's bad.
That was Jane's Addiction.
They got caught stealing.
Yeah, that's crazy. Anyway,
Kip, listen, it was an honor though.
It's awesome.
Kip, it's awesome they asked you to do that.
Yes.
You know what started it all? Savannah Bananas, and then once they saw the reaction, the Browns were like, "Gosh, we'll try anybody at this point."
It wasn't the Cleveland career; it was the Savannah Bananas game that got me the invite.
It was the viral clip of the lady in the stands in almost tears when she saw Kip. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Or there was some crowd shot where somebody was like.
The real question is when Kip did it, he should have come out like Ryan Howard did in like the full like robe covered and walked out real slow. Did you see Ryan Howard when he did it this past week?
No, I actually haven't seen that one yet.
He came out like full, Victorino came out doing his whole blah, 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 blah. And then Ryan Howard came out like in a robe covered and he like walked out real slow.
Guy.
Yeah, and they like darked the lights and they like had a spotlight only on him. You got to watch it. It's really cool. And then they're like, and now batting for the Bananas, Rookie of the Year, MVP, World Series champion. He threw the robe off, and it was like the place went freaking crazy.
I bet,
like
a
Jedi?
Yeah.
No.
It was like a gold robe. It was pretty
That's cool. All right.
They do a great job.
Yeah, very entertaining. All right, so on Philly, let's charge the damn mound.
Charging the mound.
They did it. This group of Phillies has had a nice run. They haven't won a division title. They have now done that. So the Atlanta Braves go 6 years with a division title. That's gone. They might not even make the playoffs. They're playing the Mets starting tonight for a big one. But the Phillies are in. And they didn't have to stress much for the entire year. They ran away early. Remember, they had that insane start. And then they didn't play great ball for a few months. But it never got that close.
I thought they had already clinched. Like, it just seemed like they had already done it. I mean, I know, the Mets and the Braves kept it within like 7-8 game-ish. Didn't it feel like Kip had already done this? I mean, I know I watched the end of this game, but it felt like they had already done this like a while ago.
I think that's what he means, where it wasn't stressful. You had always just kind of assumed it was their division. I think when the Mets slow start and the Braves injuries, you kind of figured this would be their year to win the division, and they took care of business. This is another team that you expected to be here, kind of. And it's just with that lineup and the pitching staff, you just really don't want to see this team in the postseason. So they're a good one.
First division title since 2011. The reason why you'd love them is they've been strong all year. They've got starting pitching. They've got star power. They've got pop in their lineup. They've got some speed. They play pretty good defense. They've got a pretty good bullpen, and they supplemented it too at the trade deadline with Banks and Estevez, Carlos Estevez, closing out games for them. And they got rid of like what they thought were the weaker links, and Soto and Dominguez dumped them both with the Orioles. But anyway, add all of that up. Kip, the problem for me still when I evaluate the Phillies right now is not the team, it's the National League. I think the National League is packed with teams that could shock people, upset, make a run. There's almost no team that's going to be in the playoffs on the NL side where I'd go, I can't believe they upset Team X.
No, there's a lot of X factors, but it's a deep division, deep side of the league. I think that's what you want, though. I think you want your best teams and your teams that have obviously the chances. It's fun to have the underdogs and it's fun to have the Cinderella stories, of course, to root for those. But when you have guys who you're not sure who's going to win, where you're not surprised if they win, it makes it for a fun playoffs.
It does. And
I'm very happy we have the NL this year, Fox.
Yeah, you've got, no matter what, a really
We're
good
getting
setup.
LA or Philly, so that's guaranteed. Probably going to be Philly, depending on how the brackets play out. But are you
That's
kidding me?
your series for DS, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Phillies, it'd be Phillies, maybe Brewers or Diamondbacks. I'll take that in a second.
Yeah.
Or even if the Phillies Mets, let's go, baby.
So that would mean the Phillies would get the top seed in that scenario?
No, because they don't reseed after. It's a bracket, so they don't.
Right.
So they would play
bracket.
the Milwaukee and then the last wild card winner.
Got it. Okay.
Right. So it's one of those two.
Yep.
So whoever, maybe Philly, Atlanta. Let's go.
That'd be good. Yeah.
Again, yes.
Mets are looking strong though in that spot, unless the Diamondbacks keep falling apart.
Well, the
too.
Diamondbacks are 6 right now.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It could be, if the Diamondbacks beat the Brewers, then it could be Phillies Diamondbacks. Travel would suck, but I've never been to Arizona to do a game.
That's probably
right
number
now,
one advantage in the playoffs too. It's Philadelphia.
Oh yeah,
That place gets wild.
Give me some cheesesteaks. Hit the Reading Market. Ho 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 ho.
and the ballpark does get nuts.
Oh,
it
it's awesome
stands
in the
out.
postseason.
You know, there's a few, but that one stands out. Right?
Their food is amazing.
Yeah. Now, we talked all about their home field advantage. It's different for them. Not last year. They still got bounced. They lost home games.
To the Diamondbacks.
Yeah. So what happened to the home field advantage? That's why I was talking to somebody who was a more casual bettor, and they were asking me, where to place money, and they were like, I don't really take the home field stuff into account for baseball that much. I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. I mean, I haven't looked recently at what the records are, home versus road, but there's often times where the road team performs well. I mean, you guys have done it. You guys have played playoff baseball on the road. What's it like?
I mean, it's an advantage. It's not a guaranteeing you a win. It's still, you're able to lose. But I'm just saying, it's when it gets loud there, it gets a lot more loud there than anywhere else. And you start feeling the more pressure when, and AJ can attest to this, when a guy gets on first base there, it just seems like he's already on third base. And in the playoffs, when he just gets that kind of tight for the defense and the pitcher, when it's just that loud, it just feels like it's a lot more than it really is. So it's such an advantage. Yes, you can still win games there, but it just makes it that much harder.
See, I didn't mind going on the road because especially if you had a good lineup and you could score first, because if you scored first as a road team, it put pressure on the home team. I always felt like so, especially in the postseason, if you're the road team and you jump on a team like 1 or 2 early, then it's like the home team is like, and the crowd is like, all right, they're trying to get behind them, and they eventually run out of gas because they're trying to get them so excited for so long. Whereas now the home team jumps on the road team, like say you go 3 up, 3 down, and then the home team jumps on them, then it's like a completely. It always seems like it's like that.
Yeah, the crowd is quiet if they're losing, and they're nervous.
Yes.
And they go nuts if they get anything early on.
Yes.
Even early strikeouts, they go nuts. But if you're suddenly down 3-0 and you get a strikeout in the third inning in a big spot, the crowd doesn't go nuts in the same way because they're still like, well, we need to hit.
And it's a rush. It's a great feeling to score early on the road. That's any playoff game, scoring first always makes it that much better.
Okay, so one last layer here.
I sure wish y'all would have scored first in 2016. Just saying.
Good to see you, AJ.
We'll get to Cleveland in a sec. One more thing on the Phillies. Ken Rosenthal put out his Fair Territory show today.
Did he call himself Dork of the Week again? He needs to.
I actually didn't get to that part. I have like 7 minutes left in the show because our show was starting. So I said, bye, Ken. I'll see you later. And we're going to talk to Ken today. But he did point out a story about the Phillies in spring training when Brian Snitker pointed out that the bye is BS and it can be hurtful. And they felt like they were getting colds during those time periods. And he said that the Phillies were ticked off. Like some of the big boys were sitting around talking about it, and they felt like it was wrong and a bad excuse and disrespectful to what they accomplished in beating the Braves. So now the roles reverse, and they feel like they have a chip on their shoulder. At least this is what they're creating in their head, to be like, us against the world. They say that the bye teams can't do it.
Listen. Poor excuse. I say this all the time. That's a piss poor excuse. Now the Braves got to get in, but imagine if the Braves get in, beat the Brewers, possibly, and then play the Phillies and beat them, and then they're like, "Ha, we told you," and then RC will be like, "Ha, Harper, good job."
And then next year everyone will be losing on purpose.
Yeah, everyone else will just be trying to get the wild card.
It's true. All right, we also have Phillies owner John Middleton addressing his ball club, and a nice little editing job here to make it TV friendly.
When we entered the playoffs, they said it was very difficult to get here. And to win a division is even more difficult. So congratulations on that. We still got some work to do, though. Okay? We still got some work to do. We want to get that bye. It's very important to us. So I want you guys to party tonight, but be ready to come here and play tomorrow. Now, last thing. I brought John in here. John, come on over here. Remember in spring training, the man said he wants his trophy back. We're going to get it for him.
We're going to talk about John Fisher, A's owner, later. That is the opposite.
By the way, it's so cocky of Rob Thompson to say, we're going to get it for you. Doesn't he know there's 5 other teams in the playoffs?
That's confidence.
Yes. No, that's just so cocky of the Phillies. I love that. Kip, you got to love that. I mean,
I think that's awesome.
The owner's in there saying, I want my bleeping trophy back? That's so incredible. And then they got doused.
Connection to the owner. When you feel a connection like all the way throughout the organization from top to bottom, it makes it that much more special to go on runs. And that's cool to bring him in and for the entire team to know what he's talking about, and everybody's on board with it. So that's a fun one. That was a great celebration.
That was awesome. Yeah, really cool to see it.
And you have John Fisher and you have John Middleton.
Yes, the two Johns.
I mean, they couldn't get more polar opposite if they tried.
No, we had Angelos too. He gone.
Fair enough. For the opposite.
We're going to spend some time on that notable letter from the A's. But anyway, props to the Phillies. Congrats on winning the division. We actually wanted to save this one for you, Kip. So instead of covering it yesterday, we're doing it today. The Cleveland Guardians clinched over the weekend. What do you think of Cleveland putting together a complete season like this and not flinching that much either?
Why is it? It's still every year. It still seems like a surprise that Cleveland's good. They've been good. You can go back to when I played too, but even after I've left, they've been good, and they just never they just don't have those big names, and so no one really puts them up there with like the Philadelphias, with the Atlantas, or anything like that. But you do want to give credit to Stephen Vaught. They give Jose Ramirez and Naylor in the middle of that order have just been a force. He's about to have the quietest 40-40 season. He's 3 home runs away, 2? Like they have a line. The reason they're not like the sexy pick is they already play postseason baseball as a regular schedule. Like they win 1-run games. They hit with guys with 2 outs and runners on base. They play good defense, and they have an unreal bullpen. They're not going to be a high scoring game, but they already kind of play that postseason. They bunt guys over. They manufacture runs when they need to, and they're just good. And when you have timely hitting and a great bullpen, you're in a lot of games.
It's a good way to put it. Yeah, they play a different brand.
They're good, but they don't. Yes, they have a star. His name's Jose Ramirez.
Yeah.
And yes, I hope he gets the 40-40 because it would be a great accomplishment that nobody will talk about. And I've mentioned it on here a few times.
I don't know.
I've mentioned it when I've done Guardians a few times that this guy no one talks about. But let's not forget about Naylor. Let's not
Yeah.
forget about Lane Thomas has gotten hot here towards the end. Andres Jimenez is an incredible fielder. They've done some different things this year, and their starting pitching and bullpen is – especially their bullpen. Class A, let's not forget about what Class A has done. 46 saves, 0.63 ERA. Now, there's not a 1 in front of it. It's 0.63 ERA. And listen, happy for Cleveland, happy for Stephen Vogt, happy for the fans in Cleveland. Now, let's see if they can go deep. Let's see if they can make a deep run with Bybee, Matthew Boyd, Cobb if he's able to pitch, and whoever else they can figure out to start for him.
I'll tell
That good
Kip why
bullpen-
it's always
That
ahead,
good
Kip.
bullpen in the playoffs is so important because not only it shortens the game where if you can get the lead through 5-6 innings, you can hold on to it and win that way. Or if you get down, now here comes your bullpen to keep it there and give you those middle innings of the game, that 4, 5, 6, to give you a chance to get back into it. That's why bullpen's
True,
important.
but the only thing I worry about is them getting tired, though.
True.
If they get into a 7-game series and they have to use their bullpen for 15 outs, 12 outs, 15 outs, it wears you down. We've talked about this before.
Mm-hmm.
It wears you out. And Class A is really a 3-out guy. I mean, he will get some 4-out saves. I understand that. But he's really a 3-out guy. And the rest of these guys are young, and they've never really pitched this much before in their life. That's why they're going to need Bybee to go deep. They're going to need Boyd to go deep. They're going to need Cobb if he can. And then whether it's Lively or whoever else their next guys are, they're going to have to give them some innings.
Would you say it'd almost be better for them if they were to lose a game in the playoffs to where it's be like a blowout where they're down like 6-7-0 early on so they can kind of throw that long guy and not use those guys?
You never want to throw a game. It's like
You
the
never-
Brewers. Kratz.
It's more beneficial to them to save those arms then.
Yeah, I agree. But it's Andrew Miller in 2016. Sorry, I keep bringing it up. He got worn out at the end. I mean, what did he pitch? Every game in the World Series, every game in the LCS?
Both
he
sides
was worn out.
Even in game 4 that we got Chapman up was the same thing. We're like, this guy's getting tired. So you're absolutely right on this one.
Yeah,
a lot
so
of
I don't know. I hope that I hope it obviously works out because I like Cleveland. But wouldn't it be interesting if it was like Cleveland versus Detroit in the playoffs?
Oh yeah.
I
That'd
mean,
be
bus
cool.
series. Hello, bus series.
Yeah.
I don't
Easy
know.
commute. That's right. But I think the strategy for them is if you're trailing, you might not be able to be as aggressive because you have to save that. If it's an elimination game, it's different.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? If you're down 3-1, 4-1, you might be like, I got to be careful here because
Yeah.
the way that we run things is different. That's my thought. We'll see what happens.
That's going to be tough for a first-year manager too.
Yeah. Yep. We'll see what Stephen Vogt does. And
Well, they're
lastly,
getting some rest now. This week will be a rest week. They'll map out when they're going to pitch. So make sure they all pitch on Sunday, the last game of the year. They'll
Mhm.
probably pitch Friday. They probably won't be a lot of back-to-backs. It's because they've already pretty much locked up their position, haven't they? In the hierarchy of where they are, aren't they? They got 67. They're going to be the second seed, pretty much.
I don't think they're going to catch was it the Yankees or who's in front
They're
of
not
them?
going to
the
catch you.
Yankees.
Yeah, and the Astros aren't going to catch them either. They're 5
No.
games back with 5 to play.
they've
So-
got to buy. That's awesome for
Yeah,
them.
they get a bye. So they'll all pitch Sunday. And they'll be ready to go, I think. I think it's just a matter of once they get in, how do they handle if they get through the first series? How do they, let's say they play the Yankees in a 7-game series. That's going to be
Yeah, you're right. That is going to be a monster. And the reason that it's always a surprise for them is because their payroll for their 40-man year end on COTS is like a little over 100 mil. Their CBT tax number, I think, is like 140. But it's a low budget team. That's why it's surprising. And on that topic, your former coach Kip is waiting for us right now. So Pat Murphy also running a team with smaller resources, and they too are thriving. So we'll talk to Skip next.
I'm about to blow this guy in the trap.
Hold on. All right, FT fam, let's talk about Orgain for a moment because it's right here, okay? And if you need a little meal replacement, a little protein boost, you see what I actually brought here today too. I'm going to see if we're going to bother one of our producers because I also ordered with the code the protein snack bars. Do you think if I eat them on the show, our producers are going to get pissed off at us?
No one wants to see anybody eat on TV, so let's not.
Don't do it. Not even one bite.
No, nobody. No, I don't want to see anybody eat at any point.
You eat on TV every week on Fox.
No, I do. I don't take a piece and put it in my mouth and chew it.
Oh, you're just.
We show it.
Yeah.
We don't ever like actually.
You don't eat it? Oh, you eat it during
No, we
the
do
breaks.
eat it, but we eat it during breaks.
During the
We're not
breaks.
eating it on live TV.
Oh, well then I'll eat mine during the break. But here it is. This is the protein bar right here, if you can see it. And then also, of course, we've got the nutrition drink. So make sure you check all of that out. Of course, if you're looking to get healthier, eat better, 30-gram protein shakes to fuel your energy made with real food-based ingredients, no artificial flavors or sweeteners. And you can scan that QR code on the screen to visit Orgain.com/foul to receive 20% off your order. Again, that's ORGAIN.com/foul for 20% off your order. And make sure you use that promo code FOUL. Check out those 30-gram protein shakes, and they taste really damn good. Be right back. There he is. Brewers manager Pat Murphy
guys?
joining us right now. What's up, dude? Congratulations on step
you, man.
one.
Thank you.
Congrats, Skipper.
Thank you, Kip.
Well done.
How's the week been for you?
The week?
How was the week for you? How was the celebrating?
I can't remember back a week. I'm a day-to-day guy. So
All right,
Kip will,
then
Kip
take
will
us
tell you
through-
that. I was losing
Yeah.
it. I was losing it back then. Now I'm all the way
They
gone.
They were trying to find pictures of us from Arizona State, and I was seeing these other players, and I almost had them post these players and to see if you could name any of them.
Stop it, Kip. I almost called you like a week ago. I was thinking we needed a left-handed bat in the middle of the order. Like August 30th, I'm like, Kip can get ready in a couple days.
Yeah, it's a good thing you didn't.
I was there. You didn't ask me.
Well, our catching's decent. Our guy's decent.
I can knock a ball down at first and flip it to the pitcher with the best of them.
Well, we needed a three-hole hitter, and I told him, I said, give Kip like 2 weeks, and just don't get in his way.
Love it. You're looking pretty good right now.
Am
That
I?
shirt's a little tight around the arms. Are you working out again?
No. I'm just this shit's been following me around for years, man. I can't get rid of it. I got shingles right now. I got shingles. No fun.
You have shingles?
I have shingles.
Like for real shingles?
For
Like
real.
The chicken pox shingles.
Yeah.
Can't you get a vaccine for that at this point?
I think you can. I'm not good on keeping up with that stuff, but I got diagnosed with shingles about Saturday. Last
Can't that
Saturday,
training staff just get it for you or do something for you?
Can what? What did you say?
Training staff do something for you or get it for you?
No, they did. They're great. No, they were fantastic. And but yeah, I didn't know what was wrong. My head was burning like crazy, so I have it in my face and in my eye. So it's been
Here you go, AJ.
Is that wait? Hold up. I got two things. First of all, when I saw you on Thursday, that was less than a week ago. By the way, you had stuff on your face. You said you ran into a wall. Now that was shingles, or was that you being dumb and falling into a wall?
No, I actually I didn't fall into a wall. I fell into like a divider. So I hit the bag in the back of there, and I was hitting the bag, and the bag came back and hits me, and then you kind of rotate around it. As I rotated around it, I kind of ran into a wall. But what happened is it opened up a sore, and then it started spreading to another sore, and I'm like, "What is this?" And the guy goes, "It's shingles." So because I had two of them on my head already, so that I would have never got it checked if it didn't start spreading. I'm like, I hit my face here, but now 2 days later I got two other ones over here. How did that happen? So I went in and asked the doctor. I mean, that was like 3 days before that. I asked the doctor. I said, "Hey, what?" He goes, "You got shingles."
It was a good thing you hit your head.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So you know what gave me shingles? This shirt when I wore it yesterday.
I can't
Because
see
we
it
can't-
that far. I told you I had it in my eye, so I can't see it that far.
You can't see this shirt.
God damn. Why would anybody put that on a shirt?
Well, first of all, I put this shirt on. Can we not get dry fit in Milwaukee? I don't understand. Like, we got the oldest, cottonest, most itchiest shirt of all time with your face on it. So do we not do dry fit in Milwaukee, or is it too cold up there in like October?
I think it's too cold. Good point. The
And
fact
that's
that
it.
they sold those shirts and I had no idea, and someone walked in with it, I'm like, come on, dude. You know?
They're selling well. There's
I'm sure they're
apparently a
selling
whole
out, you know?
rack in the team store.
Who's
I saw.
making the money? Who's making money on that?
I am.
That's what I
Retired
wanna know.
players are. Thank you.
Who's your agent, Murph? We got to get you a clothing line.
Agent? Why do I need an agent? You got to be wanted. You got to be wanted to need an agent.
Murph, do you know what you wrote on this shirt?
No idea.
Okay, that's even better. So it says, "To AJ, Kratz sucks." So you hurt his feelings so badly
Oh, that's
that he
right.
didn't even
That's
come on
right.
with you today. We had to get Kipnis up from the breaking the guitar in Cleveland. So you hurt Kratz's feelings so much with this little signature that he took the week off.
Sometimes, you know what I've always said, AJ, feelings really don't matter. Behavior matters. Okay. So how you feel, we can't worry about that. How you behave, that's what's important. So sorry, Eric. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, people on Twitter they said, we need Murph to explain why he wrote that. And I said, it seems pretty self-explanatory to me. I mean, I don't know how else you can't make it much simpler.
2 words. Kratz.
Yeah, Kratz sucks.
That explains it. All right, so let's spend a few minutes then on your ball club and why they don't suck. So do you feel like the country and baseball fans in general, like national baseball fans, know about your ball players enough, or will October expose that in a good way?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think anybody knows who we are. I don't, this is crazy, but I don't follow any of the media, and I did this by design, and now I'm sticking to it. And it's like, I didn't know like Puffy Combs has got problems. I didn't know, I didn't know any of this. These guys were laughing at me this morning. There's a lot of things I don't. I just follow MLB transactions, and that's about it. So, yeah, I don't know what the country thinks of us or whatever. I just know our guys compete, man. They compete whether you know who they are or not. We're a bunch of unknowns. That kind of helps us, we're the underdogs. We're the average Joes. Yelly named us the average Joes early, and yeah, I think that's who we are, and that's who we have to be. We have to be genuine, and we have to play the game with a certain intensity, no matter who's pitching.
Are you?
He has an average Joe's. Do you still have the average Joe's jersey hanging in your office?
The dodgeball one?
Yeah,
I
totally.
wore a patch.
Yellow.
I wore a patch. I wore a patch over the eye for the trip. I do have shingles in my eye, so it was fitting. But I wore a patch for Patches O'Houlihan because that's what Yelly refers to me as.
That's incredible. Yeah, you actually need the patch, so that works.
Yeah, works out perfect.
What have you been thinking about the playoffs yet, Murph? I mean, obviously this is not your first
you
playoff voyage, but as a manager it is. Are you thinking about like how you want to deploy your pitching staff and that whole deal?
Yeah, we're spending a lot of time on that, and a lot of back and forth on that, and how to set it up this week, and make sure everybody's fresh and healthy. It's not so easy, when you think about it. It's not so easy. When you had the 40-man roster, you had the September call-up when it was a fair game. It was pretty simple to do it because you had enough arms. But this way, you really got to plan how you want to do it.
What's the plan? Can you lay it out for us?
No, it's too complicated for this show.
Yeah.
I,
That actually is the
except
truest
for you,
answer
Bronny,
ever.
except for you, I know your other clientele on the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, wait a second. Well, who sits in this meeting? Is it you? It's Hookie. Is it? And then who else? Is it Matt Arnold?
Hookie, Jim Henderson, and Walker McKinnon, and then Charlie Green, and then we're all the pitching people, and then we sit in there and talk about it, and then the GMs come in and they do what they do, and then we fight about it, and then final decision.
What about? I noticed you didn't mention Ricky Weeks or Jason Lane, even though Jason Lane did try to pitch there for a little while. So
he was
Ricky
good at
Weeks,
it. He was good at it.
Yeah.
Lane was good
Ricky
at it. I had him
Weeks
for
Ricky Weeks is your assistant manager. Shouldn't
Yeah.
he sit in
Ricky
these
Weeks-
meetings?
So
He destroys pitching. He doesn't want to talk about pitching. He just wants to talk about destroying pitching.
that's good. Can you tell us a little bit more about Tobias Myers? I feel like that's.
I
a
want
story.
Kip.
We haven't had him
I
on
want
here,
Kip.
right?
Kip, do you have a kid yet?
No, not that I know of.
Kip, would you have children? It's going
I
to change
think
your
we
life.
talked about
You're going
this.
to
I
be an
know we talked
unbelievable.
about this.
Jeez.
I'm a great uncle. I was with them
I
last night.
believe that. I believe that. But
Every
be
time
a
we talk,
dad,
you want
Kip.
me to have children.
I do. I think it'll just put you in the right place, man.
Are you saying I'm in
Dead
the wrong
serious.
place?
No. It's gonna bring you to a higher ground. Remember
This
Stevie
is-
Wonder
he
had that song?
He gets fatherly with me when we talk now, and I love it. And he's not saying he's wrong, but I'm just saying he's gone from manager to a father to me now, and I hate how he pushes
Well,
my buttons.
No, but here's the thing. You came and played for the team I was part of, and like you killed it. You killed it for 2 years. You put yourself from out of the game to all-star in the major leagues to a guy that left an impression on a city. You did that yourself. And you didn't have that much ability, but you had the right stuff inside. You got to share that with somebody that you love more than anything. So you got to have some kids, man.
You're absolutely right, and I one day hope to experience that. I like that.
Yeah.
I will.
So he's blowing me off. He's blowing me off. Okay.
No, he will. He will. He's young. He's a young mid-30s anyway. So we're on the same track. So
Mer-
Yeah.
Well, I like having kids late in life. Trust me, I've done it. I've got them in every generation. So
Murph's the Robert De Niro of baseball.
yeah, De Niro has little dudes, right?
You're the Robert
has
De
little
Niro of
kids.
baseball. Like Robert De Niro has like a newborn. You got like a 5-year-old running around.
yeah, 5, 9, 23, and 38.
That's
All by the same
incredible.
woman. All with the same woman. That's the great thing.
That is amazing.
That is incredible.
What did
That's
your
not-
kids
that's not the
say?
truth. That's a lie.
No, it's not. Yeah, the second part's a lie. The ages are correct, right? You got the
Yeah,
ages
ages
right.
are correct.
Yeah, the ages are good. Exactly. Well, what did your kids say when you got tossed on Saturday? It didn't even look like you caused that much of a stir. You didn't give us that much of a show.
They've seen it before.
Yeah, they've seen it.
The older one.
They were like, "Oh, typical." Yeah.
No,
Hey,
they don't.
all
They
right.
don't get upset. They know it's part of the game, and they know it's.
Yeah.
It's not. Dad's not really upset. So
What'd you say though? Because it looked like you just went out there. Did you say, "Look,
He
I got
just said
shingles
to
in
me-
my eye"? And he said, "If you take one more step towards me, then you're out of here." And you're like, "Shingles?"
No.
And he's,
he said, "Are you out here to talk about the same thing he was talking about?" Meaning the player. And I'm like, "You know I am out here." He goes, "You're gone." And I
Wow.
said,
Then you
"That's
get- then you get a
disrespectful."
speech
I
you
thought
get.
that was disrespectful. I thought it was disrespectful, but that's part of it. Maybe he thought I was being disrespectful. So it's over with.
That was a quick hook, though. That was a quick hook. All right, I'm
thought
going
it
to
was.
ask you. Yeah, I think so too. That's why we asked. So, serious question here. Obviously, I know you get asked about Counts quite frequently, but he did come out. Their season's ending, right? The Cubs, Craig Counsell. Their season's ending, and he basically said, I'm going to paraphrase, that there's a pretty big gap between the Brewers and the Cubs right now. Obviously, we can all see that in the standings, but why are you shaking your head and laughing about it?
Counts is beautiful, man. He's beautiful. Did you
You
notice
heard
he
that,
used
right?
Yeah. Did you notice he used, I got it texted to me 30 times. He uses the word daunting. We've been using this word undaunted, and it was in an article on my wall for like 30 years about my dad's high school football in the 1930s. And I see this word, Ty Murphy rolls right, and then undaunted, reverses fields and completes this pass or something. And I've always wondered about it. So then when I looked it up, and then I brought it to the team mid-year, and we had shirts made undaunted, and they wear them and all that. But Counts used that, and it's like our logo, mantra for a lot of things here, and marketing's picked up on it. Anyways, and then Counts is doing the interview, and he tells us there's a big gap. He's talking to his owner because he wants them to get involved even more, and sure enough, he uses it's daunting, and
Hey,
it was a kind of a little dig, not a dig, but proving how funny he really is without people knowing it.
yeah, he took a shot straight across your bow. All right, I got two things for you. One, in Milwaukee, I've been there more than BA, as you tell me every time I walk into your office to interview you, and you have a wall where you have all these stickers of every game they've won all year. Well, right in the eye level when I walk in is White Sox, White Sox, White Sox. So I think that he's doing that on purpose. But he says it's random. It's just weird that the three right
Not
next
random.
to him.
No. It's in order. AJ, I don't know if you can follow directions or order or what. I'm not sure your capabilities. Obviously, you signed out of high school. Anyway, so you just go across the wall, and then it starts level 2 and then level 3, and it just happens to be where those White Sox game. I swore to somebody the other day they beat us once. I was in a full-on debate that the White Sox beat us this year.
No, not according to that wall you make me see every time. And then lastly, can you just go like this for me?
Yeah. Why?
Because I want to show it. The 200 Club. Can you explain that to people that don't know what that is?
No, I can't.
Dang it. Come on. It's not that. It's just the Reader's Digest.
It's something that a good friend brought to me way back before I knew Kip. Kip knows about it.
I have a little memory of it. I can't explain it either, but I have a little memory of it.
Yeah, and we had this mantra back then of the 200 Club, and it's giving a numerical value to letters. So A would be 1, K, Z would be 26, and you spell out the term effing relentless. And yeah. So
I didn't know you got it.
See how easy that was?
Yeah.
I didn't know you got it.
Since nobody watches the show anyways, I figured what the heck.
Yep.
Well,
only on Valley Sports Wisconsin.
Yeah.
A lot of us think you're our favorite for the NL Manager of the Year. We hope your shingles and your lineup problems or anything clears up in this next week. And we're rooting for you, though, bud.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Wait, before you go, did you have a nightmare about the White Sox? These guys cut it off. Did you have a nightmare that you guys lost to the White Sox? Because you didn't lose to the White Sox.
No, I swore we did. There's got to be a one-run game in there that we pulled out at the end. Something, because I swore. I'm like, Stephen Vogt him and I were talking the other day, and he goes, we lost 2 out of 3 to the White Sox. We're the most up and down team, and we were telling. I'm like, I don't feel like we're as good as people think we are, and I think we're competitive. And he goes, I feel the same way. And we're talking. He goes, hey, we've lost this many games to the White Sox. I said, yeah, they beat us too. And then someone overheard that and said, Murph, we didn't lose to the White Sox. I'm like, yes, we did. They beat us once. But I forgot.
It's good.
And surely Vasallo probably agreed with you just so you wouldn't yell at him.
Vasallo, part-time.
Well, good. It humbles you. It humbles you when you have losses that didn't exist.
Yes.
So I like that. Whatever you're doing, Murph, it's working. So we're with you. We've been in your corner since day one, since probably too early. But keep doing your thing, dude. We're excited for the playoffs, okay? Keep those debates going behind the scenes, and hopefully you win some of them. And then we're going to see what this looks like in about a week, okay?
Do you thank you. Do you guys need any ammo on Kip? Do you need any ammo?
Always. We're always looking for ammo.
Yes, please.
All right. Send an envelope, and we can get talking.
Done.
Hopefully, maybe I'll see you in about a week to 10 days in your office, and I'll just get all the ammo in that meeting.
Last time, I wish you luck.
There you go. It's the T-shirt royalties that we'll send you. We have that in cash, and we'll send the envelope over in exchange for Kip stories. Deal.
I like it, Bronny. Okay.
Thanks, Murph.
See you
Great
guys.
to see you.
Thanks, Murph.
All right, cheers.
Take care. All right. Thanks, guys.
I got to recap that combo. Because sometimes we, set up our interviews all formal. I get in my broadcastery voice, like, "Hey, we're welcoming up," and then sometimes I'm just like, "What's up, Murph?" I feel like I've known him for a long time. I've had combos with him on the field the whole day. He's been around the game for a while, so you just kind of start chatting, and I feel like sometimes that plays to one of our FT phrases. The world is our clubhouse. That was just like you walked into Murph's office for 20 minutes. You talked about shingles. You talked about Craig Counsell giving him crap, behind the scenes, in a way that most of us didn't even think about, the whole deal.
He reminds me of Tito a little bit, where he just has so many stories, and it's like you haven't met him, and within 10 minutes, it's like you've known him forever, and just has a fun story and a fun conversation going.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear about this ammo we have on Kipnis.
Me
That's
too.
what I can't wait to see. That's what I want to hear about.
Don't have any.
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I see him in about 10 days, and I'm going to just.
There's some out there, but I don't want you to have any of it.
You got to bring him an envelope with 10.
I'm going to bring him an envelope with a bagel in it and be like, "Here."
Yeah. Or give him, how many kids does he have? 5?
4.
4? Just give him 4 singles.
38, 24. He did tell me. And then 9 and 5. But his 24-year-old is in the Padres organization, minor leagues.
He's playing?
Yes.
Kai.
And his roommate was Jackson Merrill.
Wow.
So
last year?
Yeah.
He went to ASU, and it was fun. I went back and watched a game sitting with Murph for it. So it was so much fun to watch him as what I knew him as, the coach there at Arizona State, and then now I got to see the father of a player just sitting in the stands where he had no power. He was just nervous. It was such a different picture of a guy that I knew before, and very fun to see that side of him too, though. But he was awesome. We're wishing Kai the luck too. Good
luck, Kai. And I asked him what's your strategy for the playoffs question, like who are you throwing and when and whatever. I wouldn't ask that in a normal case. I knew he was going to give a good answer. I was like, he's not going to just say, well, we're working on things. Like how some people are so in their mode of not giving you anything. Merce, basically, your show's too dumb to handle this. I'm not telling you my strategy.
I'll tell you this, and he kind of hinted at it, though. He always does have a plan and always does have a strategy, but it's never from A to B. It's always he has this weird backwards way to get to where he wants the team to go, and it's just fun where he distracts you a little bit, but he is very big on not being on stats, not being on media stuff, and just presenting the day in front of you and attacking that day and just for what it is.
To me, when you're really next level as a manager, when you're just not stressed and you naturally can do things, that stands out.
He's shingles. He's stressed.
Shingle. I'm out in San Diego from the Ben and Woods show. He's on 97.3, The Fan out there. Ben Higgins joining us to talk a little Padres ball right now. Ben, great to have you on, dude. How you doing?
Good, gentlemen. Happy final week of the regular season.
Thank you. And it's a real final week for the team that you follow and cover the most because they have a chance to win the division. How weird does that sound, especially considering that they were 50-50 a couple months back? That was the stat that stood out to me.
I can honestly say that even the most optimistic of Padres fans, when the Dodgers went out and spent $1 billion in the offseason and the Padres slashed payroll by almost $100 million, that division title wasn't at the top of anybody's mind to start this season. And then at 50-50, it was like, hey, any way you can sneak into the playoffs as a wild card and then take your chances, we all would have been fine with that around the All-Star break. And now here they are. Yeah, controlling their own destiny, actually. I mean, they got to pretty much win out to win the division, but they have that opportunity this week, and it's going to be an exciting one for Padres fans.
Wow, Ben. Listen, I was vocal when they traded for Dylan Cease at the beginning of the year. I was like, what are they doing? Because I think a lot of people were, because they lost Soto, they lost Hader, they lost Blake Snell, they lost all these pieces, and then right before the season starts, as you guys are going to Korea, boom, Dylan Cease for a bunch of minor league guys. And I said, why? I didn't understand it. Now, listen, A.J. Preller is the master dealer. He's the guy that knows his team, and he'll make all the moves to try to win every year. But did anybody see this coming, especially after being at 50-50? But they have a chance. Let's say, they go up to L.A. and they sweep the Dodgers. They're right there. They got a chance to actually win the division.
My co-host, Stephen Woods, reminded me, AJ, that you were not high on the Dylan Cease trade, and obviously it's worked out really well for the Padres this year. What they gave up, the fact that, I mean, did anyone know this was going to happen? I don't know that they could say that they knew it was going to happen. AJ Preller, though, his plans go beyond just the one trade. He was already probably thinking about Luis Ariz for a while. In fact, I know he was thinking about Luis Ariz and seeing if he could pry him from the Marlins, and then that adds to the lineup. And when you have Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr. coming back, you have the nucleus of a good team. Obviously, the trades at the deadline worked out really well, bolstering the bullpen. Tanner Scott and Jason Adam have been really great for this team, as well as Brian Hoeing. So every move has worked out well. Did they know they'd work out that perfectly? I don't know, but they needed pitching badly in spring training, and Dylan Cease was there for the taking. And so they went out and took him, and then they put the rest of the team together kind of after they made that move. And yeah, it's worked out beautifully for the Padres this season.
It's worked out beautifully, I agree. But with a few different guys that you just mentioned, why does this team feel different than the years in the past? How do they play differently, and why is it maybe a better forecast for the playoffs this year than, say, the last couple of years they've been there?
It's funny because it's like night and day from 2023, even though a lot of the guys are the same. So what is different? Well, Mike Schilt came into spring training as the new manager with kind of a new philosophy of, contact, getting the ball into play. Their strikeout rate is now the best in baseball. So they're making things happen at the plate. They're not waiting for Juan Soto and Manny to hit a 3-run home run. They're just going out and doing their thing offensively. But I think, Jackson Merrill has been a huge addition and surprise. Jurickson Profar coming out of nowhere and having the season that he has had. Every piece has done what has been asked of them, and then a little bit more this season. And I think that truly is what's different. Plus, instead of going 0-12 in their first 12 extra inning games, they've been terrific in extra innings. Their one-run record, worst in baseball last year, above 500 this year. They've been great in clutch situations, close and late, best in baseball as well. You can really turn around one season to another when you do just those things. I mean, it makes a huge difference in the record.
It's a great call. Yeah, you look at the one-run games, you look at the extras, the whole deal. I remember talking about that so frequently last year, and who was catching a lot of flack for that? Bob Melvin. Was it Bob Melvin, or was it the way that the roster was constructed? Were you seeing the at-bats that you like to see late in games, or did they feel like, I don't want to say selfish at-bats, but not team-worthy at-bats on that side? On the other side, come on, this bullpen is so much better than it was last year in terms of high leverage arms.
It's very unfair to place all the blame on Bob Melvin. He's the same manager that took him to the NLCS the year before, so he didn't forget how to manage. But I do think that they waited last season for just things to fix themselves. They thought, we're so talented, let's not overreact and panic early in the season. So they did nothing, and they kept struggling. And then once they decided, we better do something, then they started pressing. And, that I think kind of showed itself in the poor clutch situations and the one-run games. They were all pressing to try to do something. So, I mean, do you want to blame the manager for some of that? Sure. The manager takes some responsibility, and Bob Melvin did at the end of the season. You can't lay it all on his feet, though. Ultimately, it comes to the players having to come through and do it. They didn't do it last year. They absolutely have done it this year, and I think that's the big difference. You want a stat that'll blow you away? Last year's team had a better run differential than this year's team. Last year's team finished with 82 wins. This team already has 90 wins. I mean, make that make sense.
Jeez. Yeah. It's been amazing. It's been awesome. All right. So then one more for you from me on the Dodgers series here. What needs to happen? Do you think it can happen? Yes, they control their own destiny, but it is still an uphill climb. I mean, they could take 2 out of 3 here.
But that doesn't do them any good.
Why? Well, because they would win the season series, right?
Yeah, but then you're 2 back with 3 to play. The Dodgers win 1 game, it's over.
Yeah.
So they have to sweep. They can't. If the Dodgers win 1 game, the division's over.
Mm-hmm.
So this is my specialty. I love doing this. Padres have the tiebreaker. So if they win 2 out of 3, it's not over, but they would need the Rockies to win at least 2, and then they'd have to sweep the Diamondbacks to get into that tie on the last day of the season. Not impossible, but the best path for the Padres, of course, is sweeping all 3 games. If they do that, all they have to do is match whatever the Dodgers do the last weekend and stay in the tie, and they actually take the division because they've got that tiebreaker. I like all the pitching matchups in this series for the Padres. Michael King today against Landon Knack. Tomorrow, they got Cease going up against Jack Flaherty, probably been the Dodgers' best pitcher, but Cease has been hot lately. And then on, Thursday, they got Joe Musgrove against Walker Buehler, who struggled. Problem is the Dodgers are going to break out at least one or two of those games and put up 6 to 8 runs because they always do. The question to me is, can the Padres outscore them in that day when the Dodgers do it? I think the Padres could win this series. Sweeping it, of course, that is a real tough ask going to Dodger Stadium.
Okay, what's the difference in them playing this in Dodger Stadium versus Petco, where Petco has been unbelievable since the last 3 years, basically. And every time they have a game, they set a new attendance record because they let 2 more people out into that awesome area out in center field. So last week was 41,237. So today we're going to do 41,389 to just barely get ahead. But they've sold out 50 something plus games. So how big of an advantage is it, I want to say, for LA that it's not in Petco, because Petco's incredible these days?
You think that makes sense. Padres do have I think the second best road record behind only the Yankees in baseball. So they've played really well away from Petco. I think they like coming up first and trying to set the tone offensively early, get out when they play with a lead. They're one of the best teams in baseball. So, hey, you go out and score in the top of the first or top of the second, take an early lead. The Padres have been extremely tough to beat. But, yeah, you got 50,000 people who hate you. I mean, there will be some Padres fans up there for sure, but Dodgers fans would love to, rip out the hearts of Padres fans like they do every single year at some point. Usually it's April or May. Now it's September. I will say this. Every game the Padres win, if they win tonight, the Dodgers get tighter tomorrow. If they win tomorrow, I think the Dodgers get really tight on Thursday, knowing that they're about to lose that lead that they have held all season long. But obviously you got to win the first one to start that sequence of events happening.
You're right. And ratings go through the roof, even kind of nationally, if the Padres take this first one, because then you start to really feeling, okay, this could happen.
Score first, though, on the road. What we talked about earlier, home field's not that big. If you score first on the road, it puts pressure on that home team, especially in a situation like this. They start puckering up a little bit.
I feel like the Padres should especially circle that Ohtani guy and be really careful with him. He's really good. He's had a really good couple weeks. So just, a note in case any of them are listening or watching right now. I know a lot of players tune in. Okay, last one for me. You had a great tweet yesterday. If you want to explain to everyone Charlie Blackmon's contributions to kicking the crap out of some teams in the NL West, including the Padres, he's retiring.
Yeah, Charlie Blackmon has more hits, RBIs, home runs against the Padres than any other team in baseball. Yeah, I said he had 226 career home runs, 250 of them, 15 of them against the Padres. I exaggerated a little bit. It's only 36. It is still more than any other team. He has been the Padre killer every time. You hear that song they play when he comes up at Coors Field in your nightmares if you're a Padres fan. Tonight! I mean, every single time you feel like something bad's about to happen. So no one's happier about Charlie Blackmon's retirement than Padres fans. Best of luck to you. And if you want to make up for it, go ahead and torment the Dodgers this last weekend at Coors Field and maybe help the Padres win that division, and all will be forgiven, Charlie. We will wish you the best in retirement.
That's so true. Yeah, he could help the Padres down the stretch here if he beats up on the Dodgers. Well, great call. Awesome having you on here, Ben. Really appreciate it. Everyone check out Ben on Twitter at Ben Higgins SD. He's on Ben and Woods. Awesome show out there, 97.3 The Fan. We get the best guests in San Diego, the whole deal. So, Ben, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it, man, and have fun with these games.
Anytime. A lot of fun. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you. Be right back, FT fam. We're talking John Fisher's heartfelt apology to the world. All right, so I'm going to let Kip take over a little bit on this one. So I've got my Viore on right next to the logo here today as we talk about a new perspective on performance apparel. Where is it? Oh, yeah, nice. What? Yep, I see. And do you have the pretty tag on the bottom, left or right, in the front?
Left.
Left, yep.
I will not be showing that.
Subtle. Yeah, you don't have to. We don't need you to lift the shirt off. But talk about it for a moment, because I know, when you found out that we were teaming up with Viore, you were pretty pumped because you were already spending quite a bit of cash with this bustling company.
I love it. I think it's got some of the softest clothes right now. It's whether it's gym wear or kind of like just relaxing around the house. It's my go-to. So it's a lot of fun. They have great stuff. You're not going to, in terms of like everybody wants to do pricing for all these with Lululemon and all these other competitors, but they're just, if you're looking for the best bang for your buck, Viore's been fantastic.
Yeah, agreed. Uniqueness with colors, with comfort, with even the website, very easy. And there's stores popping up left and right. I've been to the New York City store quite a bit. So they're doing it. It's working.
Yeah. And by the way, I have Viore on too, Scott.
Oh, I did not.
Well,
you know why?
Usually with us.
Because I had to wear the Murph shirt yesterday. So today I had to go comfortable because after wearing this is definitely not Viore.
Those two shirts are opposite.
They are the complete opposite. This might be one of the most itchiest, scratchiest, shinglest shirts I ever had. And then I put on my Viore and it's like, welcome to.
And it has Kratz's name on it.
Yes.
Yes, it says Kratz sucks, which makes it go up in value.
Right message,
All
but
right.
it has his name on it.
Yes, exactly. So, FT fam, if you're watching us every day, you know the deal. 20% off your first purchase, Viore.com/foul to get yourself some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet. VUORI.com/FOUL. Not only do you get yourself 20% off that first purchase, but also enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. One more time, Viore.com/foul, and discover the versatility of Viore clothing.
Yeah, that's what he said.
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
A's owner John Fisher sent out a letter to fans about ditching them and moving to a minor league park in Sacramento for years and then maybe eventually going to Las Vegas. I'm not going to read the entire letter. It was kind of long and he didn't read it either, so why should I read it? Plus, I already showered this morning. I don't want to have to shower again right after that. So we're going to react to the letter, okay? Did you read it? Did you see the typo too, by the way?
He typoed. He couldn't spell something right. Listen, here's my thing. This is all well, good. John Fisher, really cool. No one's been able to talk to you for years upon years now.
Like 20 years.
But
He
any of
wanted
this stuff.
He wanted to.
Yeah, he wanted to talk to every person.
Fan by fan.
Yeah, he wouldn't even show up at the ballpark. So how can you go fan by fan? And then second of all, let me say this. If you really, really, really wanted to get this done, spend some of your gap money and spend some of the money you inherited and get it done. Because in today's world, it's not, I'm not going to say it's impossible to have this happen, but it's really hard to get 100% public funding. But he'll go and spend his money in Las Vegas, but he won't spend his money in Oakland.
Yeah.
So explain that, how hard he really tried.
Did not try.
Okay.
And remember, at one point, Kip, in that letter, he tried to pin it on this ultimate rule, like this mandate, basically, that was up this year where he had to make a decision. And our buddy Evan Drellick from The Athletic said, a small point in this saga, but the continued reliance on the, quote, MLB agreement that we saw there from Fisher is misdirection. If the owners and or the commissioner's office didn't want that clause in the CBA, it would not exist. It didn't materialize out of thin air. The players were not demanding it. So, when he puts that in the letter, like, I was forced, they handcuffed me, and they're making me walk out of Oakland. Like, everything about how he has handled this continues to be disgusting. And, most fans were like way too late to even send something out and to communicate with us. But then the wording in there is so pompous. Everything that he says is such BS. It's really disgusting. To the whole game, Kip, that's the thing. This isn't an Oakland problem. This is the thing I always say. This is a baseball problem. This makes our sport seem small. It is embarrassing the way that this has been handled on a day-to-day basis.
It was a too little, too late letter. It's another notch in his belt of just wrongdoings and mishandlings. It seems like it was not forced, but it seems like it was put out just so he can say that you have a chance to tell your side, even right here with this letter. You have a chance to explain something, and it seemed like he just wanted to transfer blame to make it look like he tried by just saying you tried. There are a lot of the offerings and dealings have been public records, so people know whether you're full of crap or not. So they know how many times you actually tried. They know which deals fell apart and which ones were actually realistic. And when half the letter contradicts all your actions leading up to it, you know that it's just a misleading and something that it's almost more for him than the fans.
Who proofread this?
You mean the 1990 or 89 Loma? He spelled it
It's
Preda.
supposed to be Prieta, but it's
Yeah.
Preita.
Preita. He was like going through the whole history as if he knows the history. He can't even name 3 guys on the current team. When he was announcing the Sacramento move,
He's like, Aaron Judge and Shohei are going to hit homers against us.
Can't wait to watch my team get smacked. So yeah, everything about this letter was gross, obviously. And, he's talking about the countless, dedicated fans and employees. And here, I'll skip to the end for one part that I wanted to point out, because I think this is part of the puzzle of why he did this. He goes, looking ahead, I hope you will join our beloved A's as we move forward on this amazing journey. I hope I will see you again sporting the green and gold, and I hope we will make you proud. AKA, don't leave us, all of you dedicated Oakland fans that have spent all of this money on the team and be super dedicated for all of this time, because I don't know what the future holds, but we're about to lose a pretty large dedicated fan base that would buy any memorabilia, any merch, would support them through thick and thin, and would show up at a ballpark that was not being kept for a long time. And yes, did they lead the world in attendance? No. But if you go there and you go to pick a ballpark that you really like, you're like, this owner doesn't want to be here and probably doesn't even show up here. So there were a lot of parts here that stood out. Do you want to show?
Guys talk about it a lot. Yeah. As anybody, what's the how does Vegas feel about this? How does Vegas feel?
They don't like it.
That's okay. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I feel like this letter was more for him, trying to be like, hey, don't stop giving me your money once we leave too. Kind of like it really wasn't for the fans. None of his moves have been for them. It's just not good.
Here's the thing. I have friends that live in Vegas. They're from Vegas. They want no part of these. They want an expansion team like they got with the Knights. It's kind of like the Raiders. The Raiders came there, and it's cool. They have the stadium, and they're cool. But it's a lot more road fans, because they're like, we didn't grow up with this. Now, if you start an expansion team, you pick your own team like the Knights, they're all in on the Knights.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the A's coming, they almost need a rebrand and rebrand it to something more Las Vegas than the A's, at least for me. And then also, Mark, our producer, brought this up. Bob Nightingale the other day reported that Kotze wanted to address the crowd, and they're like, no. And players, get the heck out of there as soon as the game's over. Like, why can't they sit around and enjoy it? Is something going to happen that we don't know about?
They're worried that they're going to say something. I don't know.
Fans aren't mad at the players.
No, they're not mad at the players at all. They love the players.
Danger.
The players have nothing to do with it. Here's the part that really bothers people, and we're going to show a legendary broadcaster out in that area, Larry Beal, who's been on big publications for years, and he's the guy out there. And he read parts of the letter. And the part that he pointed out was how John Fisher said, I wish I could talk to each of you individually, but I actually care about none of you. No, he didn't say that part, but here's Larry Beal's response to that part of the letter.
John, you tried 5 different, extremely flawed stadium proposals. You never got even close to a shovel in the ground. Yes, Oakland politics is often a mess. I will give you that. But John, you surround yourself with incompetent yes men, and because you were born into a billionaire family, apparently never learned you have to spend money to make money. See Joe Lacob and the Golden State Warriors, your buddy, who still wants to buy the team. John, you're a serial penny pincher. You've destroyed your family's great name and legacy because of your cheapness. As for the statement about loyal A's fans, quote, I wish I could speak to each and every one of you individually, end quote. Seriously? John, we've been trying to interview you for years, but you always choose to remain invisible unless you're begging politicians for public funding. And then you're out in front in Las Vegas. Okay. So let me just deal with this.
Wow.
For all A's fans, I can't do this enough. But here's the thing.
Love it. I freaking love it, dude.
All-timer. All-timer, because he's there.
He's right, living too. And he's the local guy.
Yes.
And he's right. When have you ever heard John Fisher talk about anything, like he said, except trying to get a stadium and funding done?
Nothing. He did like that really weird what was it, Chamber of Commerce thing in Vegas, where he's all sitting and coordinated and awkward and all that. But no, you can't talk to him. You can't interview him. And props to Larry. I just want to give credit to that's ABC 7 News KGO TV in San Francisco. But that was an all-timer.
And everything he said was right, too. Like the Warriors guy is like, I'll buy the team. Oh, no. I don't want
no one wants the team,
bro.
Oh, really? No one wants the team? There's some tech billionaires out there that can afford the team, and they would like to keep it there.
Don't ever tell me that people don't want to buy franchises.
That's just not true.
Because trust me, people got enough money, they'll buy it. People, there's only a certain number of these things, and they make money.
Yes, and you can't talk to people. You can't talk to every single person. I get it, but ABC out there wants to talk to you. One of the legendary broadcasters out there wants to talk to you, and he's tried for years, and not once will you give him time. Come on, just the way that you think people are stupid is so insulting, right? Talking about Fisher, of course. Let's get Trevor May's letter in there too. He wrote his own letter. Our buddy in the FT fam said, and he just played for the team last year. Dear John, with all due respect, which is more than you likely deserve, save it. Be an adult. Get in front of a camera and say it with your chest. Releasing a letter, clearly written by someone else, and including a bunch of names you definitely do not know, is just disrespectful to those that love the team. Quote, we tried, end quote, LOL. The fact that you still think that anyone cares about that at this point shows once again your lack of understanding of why people love the game. You love owning stuff, just not your actions. Either stand up with pride or keep hiding. Pick one. We're tired. That last line really stood out to me. I'm like, baseball is tired. I'm tired of this. And it's not going to end. It's about to get way worse. I'm telling you. It is not easy to suddenly run a franchise in a minor league park that's putting turf on there to maintain the field, which is not a good idea with the weather out there. And many people have warned about that. Like, it is going to keep getting more embarrassing for people that look at our sport from the outside and are not like us, Kip, and don't look at it on an everyday basis. Next year, the year after that, it's going to be really embarrassing for people to find out why Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani and all John Fisher's favorite players are playing in a setting like that.
That's what I'm trying to play it out in my head of just what this guy can do to not even save PR or to start repairing his image or repairing the connection to fans and all that stuff. And it's just such a long list. I don't even know where to start. And it's just with a guy who's been mishandling a major league team in a major league city. Now we're going to throw more on his plate and tougher hurdles for him to overcome. And it's just not going to go well. You pray the MLB somehow helps. You pray the fan bases of this team in Sacramento or wherever shows up. Excuse me. But just he's got such a long road ahead of him to repair this great organization to kind of where it was.
Yeah. And this is where a letter like that at this time, I mean, in my mind, I think he should have skipped it. We know he is 0 for a million on doing anything correctly. He's not done one thing well. So I don't know in his brain why he decided to activate at this very moment, besides the fact that he wanted to put in that line at the end, like, please still support us.
Yeah, please buy your A's gear, even though nobody will care.
Yeah. I mean, you're leaving, dude. I mean, obviously, you're leaving to Sacramento, where technically A's fans can still go to. It's not years away, right? It could take, depending on where you live, hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that to get up there. I mean, certainly not close. I've talked about how once the Nets moved from New Jersey to Brooklyn and it was a much less contentious situation, I didn't feel the same connection. And I have a spot in Brooklyn now, but I don't feel it the same. A's fans are going to be the same way. And then when they go to Vegas, Kip, what do you think? People in Oakland are just going to be flying out left and right to support the freaking A's? No, they'll have a new fan base, but that fan base feels ick about this.
You're not going to drive an extra hour and a half than all you were already driving to support this guy. Plain and simple.
No, you're not. And no one's going to go to Vegas either to watch.
No, not from Oakland.
My question is, when are they going to put shovel in the ground in Vegas?
Haven't heard anything yet. Or a finance plan. Haven't heard anything yet.
Haven't heard anything except for it was done.
Yeah.
So at what point, let me ask this, will MLB have to step in and say, oh, John, you're one of our 30. We're going to give you $200 million to get this done?
Maybe.
That's probably what he's hoping for.
He's not paying a relocation fee.
Exactly.
Why? I don't know. Usually when you move, you pay a fee to move.
I don't know.
That's part of why he's moving. He wants to be in Vegas to up the franchise value. He's not going to own this team forever. I promise you that. This guy wants to.
I don't know anything
I
about
don't know.
all I know is he owns
My
the
guess
A's.
is yes. But my thing is, I really, truly believe this, that he wants to eventually go to his buddies when he's playing golf and say, I took this team and the franchise valuation was 1.5 and I moved them to Vegas and now it's 3. And look, I did it. I did it. It took 20 years of pain and completely smacking my family's legacy in the mouth. But I did make myself a cool $1.5 billion to go to a different market and find someone else that wanted to buy a team in Vegas. That's what he's going to do. I'm telling you, he's not going to own the team for a long time.
No.
But he knows that you actually will create a whole rebrand if there's a new ownership group. If anyone takes over that team, they're going to do everything differently. You know, we're seeing it in Baltimore.
Well, think
that's
about
an easier situation.
like when the Colts moved out of Baltimore and they went to Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
The Baltimore fans weren't like, "Oh yeah, we're Colts fans still." They were like, "Okay, no, we hate the Colts." They still hate the Colts to this day.
Yes.
And they're like, "Okay." Then they got an expansion team, and they all are all in on the Ravens.
Right. They weren't all like, "Oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I love the
Colts. We lost our team. Let's stick with the Colts." Even though they're like, no, like that's not how it works. When you break people's hearts, they don't follow you.
No.
They were like, okay, we're cutting this cord. And you know what the problem is? This is going to alienate a big, big, big market for Major League Baseball.
Huge and diverse
market that they're basically alienating.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They're not all going to become Giants fans. So yes, they didn't get great attendance, but there was a lot of Oakland Athletic fans that, what they couldn't afford to go to the games, whatever they, watch it on TV, whatever it is, they're just going to be like, screw this, I'm done with baseball.
Yeah.
And baseball can't afford that right now.
I agree. That it's so cocky to look at it that way and be like, well, like the commission said, they'll just be Giants fans eventually. A's fans are not just going to suddenly pick up the Giants. They're not. They're already picking up some of the local teams out there, right? You've got the Ballers and the 68s. There's all these local teams that are cool that really grab the roots of the city. They're really rooted in Oakland. So last thing here, because we've gotten some fan feedback about this saying, well, and we've talked plenty about the league and the other owners. The only thing I'll say about the other owners is this. You can say they have a choice. They don't. What they do is anything they disagree on behind the scenes, they will do a real vote and then they do the fake vote. So I want to keep reiterating that point. This is directly from owners in the sport who are inside these meetings. They say, we have disagreements. We have votes on things. If the vote ends up 17-13, then we do a revote, the public revote, and it's 30-0. That is how it works. David Sampson, who comes on our show pretty frequently, has confirmed that as well. He's been in those meetings too. It is a 30-0 every single time. So I just want to make sure that that's clear. There might be an owner that's like, this is absolute crap. I completely disagree with this. It's basically like the bylaws, the unofficial bylaws, the unwritten rules in owning a baseball team now is we might disagree and hate each other on stuff, but it's 30-0 when we announce it publicly because that's what makes us stronger against a union.
True.
Period. That's how it works.
True. Let me say this also before we go because chat's blowing me up. The Ravens were the Browns, and the Browns got the expansion team. So apologies.
And apologies, I can't.
But they did a rebrand. They're not the They weren't the Baltimore Browns. They become the Ravens.
Right.
See, so it was a rebrand, and then the Browns got their expansion team, which Kip ruined on Sunday. So we're good. So it's all full circle here.
Yeah, they're still struggling from all of that.
Good to see you, AJ.
All right. Well, anyway, if you're looking at this, drop a comment about it because I feel for Oakland fans so freaking much and for baseball fans. This just is an embarrassing story that keeps getting worse. So case closed. John, you suck. Fisher, talking about him. I like Middleton. All right, we'll be right back on FT. What's up? So on a lighter note, Jackson Jobe is coming to the show.
Mm-hmm.
So just wanted to spend time for 2 minutes on this one for the YouTube crowd. We are going to hit this just for a second on Hot Sheet later. So you can catch that show right after Foul Territory, the Baseball America Hot Sheet show, because we also have special guests that I'm not going to say because it's tied to awards. But Jackson Jobe is the top pitching prospect in the sport. This is balls to the wall for Detroit. Now, he was kind of ready anyway, but he's going to be a reliever.
I just want to see how he's going to be used, if he even gets used at all.
Reliever.
I mean, they're just going to be like, you haven't relieved ever. Here's one inning in the game we have to win.
Didn't the Cardinals always do that with their guys for a while?
It's a gutsy move.
Wainwright.
Listen, I'm fine with it. Guy's going to come out throwing fuel. But let's say they're in a close game. They're playing the Rays right now, right? And they're in a 1-run game. They're like, oh, Jackson Jobe, bring him in. Never done this in his life. Your big league debut. I mean,
can I present a plan to you guys? So someone like this pitches low to medium leverage innings for the next 5 days, maybe gets himself 2 or 3 appearances. If he looks absolute fire, which is what his stuff is, and he looks like he can handle the moment, then you can maybe.
But you only got 5 games to figure it out.
Sure. And also, if you make the wild card, which they're on pace for, Kip, which has been an incredible story, I think you need a little something special to try and keep up with some of the bigger teams in the American League. This is a secret weapon. It's
a fun little boost in the arm before this last week. And again, if it works out, and I mean, when you throw 101, it has a good chance to. If he looks good, why not? And he's already stretched out. Why not use him 2 innings and use him like if they've got the lead, let's say a 5-1 game or something, give him the 6th, 7th, and if it's good, go give him the 8th, and then get him out there or something like that. You have, with him stretched out and it built up already, you have a lot of flexibility in how you use him right now.
He is freaking nasty. We've had him on the show. We've talked to him when he was at the Arizona Fall League. But if you want more info on Jackson Jobe, the talent, go to the Baseball America YouTube channel later. We have a prospect profile up on him. If you're driving or whatever, you just type in Baseball America wherever you get your pods, and you'll see a prospect profile on Jackson Jobe. We're going to talk to Ken Rosenthal next. Good show. It's moving fast here. Inside Scoop time with FT Senior Insider Ken Rosenthal, along with Pierzynski and Kipnis. I'm Braun. So, Ken, great to see you. AJ was mentioning Dork of the Week, and I didn't have an answer for him. You know I love the show and listen to Fair Territory word for word, but I ran out of time before our show started. So I told him I missed the last 7-8 minutes. I'll catch it on the car ride home. Just want to confirm, was Pierzynski the Dork, or did we have someone else this week? Because I don't think he did anything wild this week.
No, I was
he
thinking
he wasn't the dork last week, and I don't have Dork of the Week on my show today. We do that Thursday with Alana Rizzo. Now, AJ has 3 days to possibly become a candidate, but I don't think he's done anything to merit that this week.
Yes.
I was thinking Ken should give himself Dork of the Week.
For what?
I have.
He did some. No, I know. You should do it again.
He did do something. You know what? We can start here. I've got something for you.
What did he do?
So about a week ago, he was saying that there weren't crazy races with the playoffs in terms of who's going to make it. And he did his mea culpa on Fair Territory today. So let's elaborate on that and your thoughts here. I'll go next level because I want people to listen to the show, Ken, but I also just want to get your thoughts now on the next 5 days. If you're looking at the schedules and the pitching matchup and everything else, what do you think is going to happen?
Well, I have a lot of thoughts, and I didn't actually get to all of them on Fair Territory. The one thing when you're a baseball writer you learn early on is never to write in the middle of a playoff series, for example, it's over. Never to have these full declarations, because in this sport, crazy stuff happens. So a week ago Monday, I'm doing my show, and I basically said, barring a collapse, I did say those words, barring a collapse by some team, it really looks like the NL wild card between the Mets and Braves is the only good race left. Now, we've had 2 collapses ongoing since by the Royals and the Twins, so I guess I could justify taking myself off the hook there, but no, I blew it. I shouldn't have said that. And then on Thursday's show, I went backwards a little bit, gave a mea culpa to the Tigers, but didn't to the Mariners. In fact, I told their fans to pipe down, and I shouldn't have done that either. So those are the 2 mea culpas. Those are the reasons I could be Dork of the Week again. Now, you asked me, though, about going forward. What is going to happen? I have no idea what's going to happen. That's the beauty of this thing. I do know that the Mariners have the most difficult path. One, because they're a game and a half out with 1 fewer game to play, and also because they don't have any of the tiebreakers. That's a problem. The Twins, I just don't know how they're going to get to the finish line with their pitching because they've struggled with it so much. The Tigers are the hot team, there's no question, and they end with 3 games at home against the White Sox. Their schedule is the best of all these clubs. Having the White Sox as an opponent, I don't need to tell anyone, that's basically decided the American League wild card this year. Twins are 12-1 against the White Sox. Royals are 12-1 against the White Sox. Tigers are 9-1. Surprisingly, the Guardians are only 8-5, yet they're running away with the division. So I don't know, Scott, how this turns out. The Royals have not hit in this stretch of about 23 games. They've lost 16 of 23, 7 in a row, averaging just over 3 runs per game. The loss of Vinny Pasquantino has been monumental for them, it turns out. But who knows? Over the next 5 days, 6 days, some strange things can happen and probably will.
Ken, have you ever seen, I don't know, what movie is it? Is it Anchorman?
What does he say? What do you like?
I said with all due respect, right? That's Ken right now on his mea culpa. Well, I said the Tigers were done. I said the Mariners were done.
Collapses.
But,
Barring collapses.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I said with
AJ,
all due respect.
let me ask you one thing, AJ.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not patting myself on the back here, but you're going to take it that way, and I don't even care. Not many people go out there and say their predictions are wrong or, frankly, in this case, sucked. Mine sucked. I shouldn't have said what I said, and I'm owning it. That's all I can do at this point.
Okay, that's all we ask out of you, Ken, is to own your.
I know that's all you ask
your
me.
bad prediction. Okay. Now let me ask you this: David Bell was the most recent manager to get fired. Is there any thoughts on the Reds' future candidates, whatever it is, what they're going to do, or was there a specific reason behind it? Because Nick Kroll came out and said philosophical differences. You just signed him to an extension. Now you fire him like soon after?
I know you had Trent Rosecrans on yesterday, and he gave a great summary of where they are. Obviously, with managerial dismissals in this era of the game's history, it's often somewhat folly because, of course, the managers and the GMs work so closely together. The GMs are responsible for putting the teams together. And in Bell's case, you certainly could argue injuries played a role. They didn't have Matt McClain. They barely had Encarnacion Strand. They didn't have Noel V. Marte because of his suspension. Pitching injuries afflicted this team. But the one thing that Kroll pointed to was their sloppy play, their base running into outs, that kind of thing. And that's fair. They did have a lot of that. And he just feels, Kroll does, and I'm being respectful to him here, that they need a new voice. And I don't know that I would argue that. And it doesn't hurt always to bring in new energy, a new voice. Bell's been there a number of years, or had been. But yes, the question then becomes, okay, who is that voice? And I know Trent mentioned Barry Larkin yesterday. People are going to talk about Skip Schumacher. Let me tell you something about Skip Schumacher. He's going to have his choice of jobs. This one won't be the only one open. And I don't know that Cincinnati would be first on his list, depending on what else comes available. So it's one of those things. I wasn't surprised to see this news. And at the same time, you know that there are always, with managerial firings, extenuating circumstances. There certainly was here. And you talk to their fans who watch the games regularly. I can't say I'm speaking for the majority of their fans, but a lot of them were frustrated with Bell. And a lot of them felt it was time for a change. That's not how you run a team. But at the same time, what happened with David Bell is not exactly shocking.
When you evaluate the roster construction of the team this year and some of the players that they were missing, did you feel like you were watching a team that should be in the playoffs and, say wasn't developing correctly? I know, they had the exciting young players that came up last year and they just missed the playoffs. They didn't do much at the trade deadline last year, but they also didn't have Matt McClain, who arguably was their best player last year for the entire year. He hasn't played a game. Christian Encarnacion Strand wasn't good when he played and has barely played this year. So you start to look at some injuries for them. I mean, I'll use me as an example, Ken. I had them to win the division up until like a week and a half before the season started, and then I completely took them off the list with confidence. I was like, they were losing guys left and right. Noel V. Marte got popped for roids. We don't know who he is as a player until we see now a sample size of him for a year or two. So I don't know. I thought the pitching was great, and I think it actually performed to expectations. So I'm just curious for your thoughts on how they put this roster together. I know they spent some money, but I don't think they were looking at a team like, oh, this team's going to run away with the division.
No one was saying that. And I thought they would be better. I will say that. And it's interesting, when they signed Candelario, which seems to be a move that backfired on them, at least for this season, a lot of people, including myself, thought, why are they doing that? The one thing they have is depth in their infield. They've got a ton of infielders. And yet Marte was out, of course, with the suspension. McClain got hurt. There seemed to be a spot for him, but it didn't really work out. So the money that they spent, while well-intentioned, obviously, it didn't really produce results. Montas was not good for them. They had to trade him, and he's been better with the Brewers. That tells you something right there. Emilio Pagan didn't have a great year, and I'm missing somebody here who they signed. Oh, Nick Martinez did have a good year and probably will opt out. So it wasn't a great group that they brought in. It was an okay group, and they thought that that group would be enough to supplement what they had. The loss of McClain, you can't use injuries as an excuse because every team has them. But that really, in my view, kind of crushed them because that guy is a future star in my estimation. I don't know how much the injury will hurt him, but he was a huge part of what they were going to do, and they didn't have him all year.
One more real quick. I saw it somewhere where they were like, oh, they're not developing guys. I'm probably the wrong person to ask this because I'm biased. I shouldn't be. I just like what I see on the field. Ellie De La Cruz has significantly improved this year. He is worlds better than he was last year. He was good last year. He's a really damn good player, and I know he still has to work on his swing and miss, but he did get on base much more. He improved his defense, especially even from the start of the year. His base running has gotten better. So I just wanted to point that out. Hunter Green, right? There has been some development. I'm not trying to just defend David Bell. I haven't been around the team like that often. Obviously, we've been out in Cincinnati a couple times, but I don't know. I looked at them and I'm like, I mean, what? They should have won 4, 5, 6 more games, maybe. I don't know. Didn't look like an amazing ball club to me.
It didn't, the way it turned out with the injuries. And in that division, though, you certainly can envision a better future if you don't believe David Bell is the answer anymore. And Nick Kroll, as the GM, certainly did not believe that. That's why he fired him. So next year, in that division, why shouldn't they be able to take a step forward? Once McClain is back, if they can keep their pitchers healthy, maybe do some things in the offseason. In that division, there is no reason they shouldn't be a factor. And they really weren't a factor this year for any significant stretch of time.
I got a question for you, Ken. We just did a nice little segment on John Fisher's letter to the fans. I was wondering if you got to read it, got to see the media response from it so far, and what's your take on it?
Oh, I read it. And he would have been better off stuffing that in his pocket and not.
He could be your dork of the week.
Well, we have basically named the dork of the week after him. It's kind of the John Fisher dork of the week because he's won it so often. He'll be a strong candidate again for that letter. Now, he said some things in there. He spelled Loma Prieta wrong. That was the earthquake that they had. That's a misspelling that kind of jumped out at me as kind of a work writer type. But the gist of it is, we tried really hard. We tried. We just couldn't make it happen, and we feel terribly about it. We can debate all day long how hard they tried, how adeptly they tried, because their plans always seem to have massive holes in them, the 5 different Bay Area locations that they were looking to do. And we can debate also how much the city of Oakland didn't get the job done, which is what MLB and John Fisher has pointed at all along in these last several years. Oh, that's fine. It's all over now, and he can talk all he wants. The one thing in there that was interesting, and my colleague from The Athletic, Evan Drellick, pointed it out yesterday, was when he said that there was a binding agreement from Major League Baseball, in effect forcing them to make a decision. Yes, that agreement was in place. It was in the CBA, and MLB put it in the CBA. And as Evan pointed out, the players didn't necessarily need this in there. MLB put it in there because they were going to take the revenue sharing money away unless they came to some resolution. So John Fisher wanted to keep his revenue sharing money. He was effectively forced into making a decision, and that's where that came from. It's not some accidental thing, and it's not some purposeless thing. MLB did it because this was taken forever, and he couldn't get it going, and he was already getting a gift from MLB, revenue sharing, when, given the size of his market, he didn't deserve it. So that letter is what it is, and we're going to see a great outpouring from their fans these next 3 days, and I look forward to seeing that. It's a shame what happened, and in my view, they should go back to Oakland with an expansion franchise. There are people in that city, or in that area, I should say, that say they want to buy the team. The guy from the Warriors has been public about it, Joe LaCobe. So you're looking at one of the biggest television markets in the United States, I believe number 6. You can have 2 teams in that market. You should have 2 teams in that market now, and you can have both of them succeed.
Well said. And the other word that came to mind, we talked about it a lot, but insulting. When you say something like that, and
Yes.
you just clarified along with Evan Drellick what the actual process was when you're telling everyone, oh, I was forced, these ultimate laws forcing me to go. No, you just wanted to keep your money. Come on. That's why it's such a gross step.
They forced you because you were going nowhere. You were doing nothing. So effectively, they said, we've got to have some resolution here. And that was the proverbial deadline that he was given. You don't do this, you're losing your revenue sharing, and that was that.
Exactly. All right, let's finish with a fun note. Shohei Ohtani. So the direction I want to go with you, Ken, is big picture for the sport. We are very close to playoff baseball with one of the best players of all time. We have not had that yet. I always say how it is a major disadvantage for baseball because you just don't see it in the other sports. The top quarterbacks, mostly in the playoffs. The top basketball players, mostly in the playoffs. Not the case for our sport in the past 10 to 20 years especially. So what are your thoughts on the way that our sport can improve itself with marketing just by having the best players in October where everyone's watching the same games?
Well, certainly he's going to be a major storyline in the playoffs, and I encourage everyone to read Andy McCullough's brilliant story in The Athletic today about Ohtani as he goes into the playoffs. And in that story, Dave Roberts, the manager of the Dodgers, says it's going to be fascinating to see what he does. Does he press? Does he just be Shohei Ohtani like we've seen him be all along? It's going to be really something to behold. And it's really the same with Aaron Judge, right? Aaron Judge has not had great postseasons, and the spotlight will be on him. Yes, I'm with you, Scott. You want the best players in the biggest stages, on the biggest stages. And we're going to have that this postseason, which is great. It will be more dramatic this way. It will be more fun this way. I believe there will be more attention on the sport this way. Now, I'm not saying you have to doctor the sport or fix it in some way that you guarantee the stars play in the postseason. That's not the way baseball works. But the fact that Ohtani is finally going to play in October, that's a big thing for the sport, no doubt. And I would expect the attention will be much greater than it normally would be. He is a guy that commands that type of attention, and he transcends baseball. Fans, casual fans, are interested in what he's doing. When he did what he did last week to get to 50-50, that crazy game, that was national news and something that I'm sure a lot of casual fans took notice of and said, wow, that's really cool. 6 for 6, 10 RBIs, 3 homers, and he gets to 50-50 that way. That's what Shohei Ohtani brings the sport, and we look forward to seeing what he does in October.
Ken, where are you this weekend?
I am in Milwaukee, AJ. Where are you? Mets Milwaukee for me.
I'll be right here. I'm not working this weekend. I got kicked. So enjoy Milwaukee. I've been there like 6 times in the last like month and a half. So just know this. I'm going to text the chef, okay, Chef Lauren Rue, and he always brings us up an amazing spread in Milwaukee. And I'm going to make sure, since they did not present you with the cake I bought for you on Saturday like they were supposed to, I'm going to make sure that you are not allowed, that you are not allowed to touch the spread this Saturday.
Well, AJ, first of all, the spread that you devour when you do a game in the booth, that's not something that is available to me alongside the dugout. You guys are eating away, and I'm sitting there just kind of hanging, and I don't eat during games anyway. So I'm good. You can keep the spread away from me. We're fine.
Don't get
Why
too
wouldn't they
close.
give you the cake?
I don't know. They told me about the cake. AJ's talking about a birthday cake that I guess you purchased for me or ordered for me.
I was just trying to make you excited, Ken. It was your birthday,
And they told me about it. They showed me a picture of it. But at the end of the game, I didn't see any cake, which was fine.
They deliver a cake?
They didn't give Ken cake. Kip, they didn't give Ken cake for his birthday on Thursday. What do you want?
And he deserves it too.
It's all good. No, it's all good.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
If it was our buddy Adam Jones, it wouldn't have been a good result.
No.
So,
And by the way,
maybe
Ken,
it was a good
exactly
thing.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Ken, you might want to opt out because Milwaukee's already clinched. The other game is
out.
Baltimore at Minnesota. So I'm just saying you might want to switch out.
Well, AJ, I was given my choice and was told the Mets game would have the bigger audience, and the other game might not be good either. So you don't know what's going on. Yeah, I'm going for the bigger audience. That's right, AJ.
Okay.
That's me.
He's big
That's
time.
me. Just just begging for the camera to be on me.
Yes.
You said it. You just said it. You admitted it. You picked the. See, another reason why you should be dork of the week. He just
Everyone
said it, and then he
watching.
contradicted himself.
Everyone watching knows better. See you guys later.
We're getting the big market. See you, Ken. Great to have you on. Appreciate you. Happy late
Yes.
birthday, too. Talk soon. Fair Territory's out there. New episode came out today, and Ken talks about the Phillies clinching right at the top, talks about the wild card races, among many other topics. So it's Mondays and Thursdays. Next one's 12:30 Eastern. It's the last Fair Territory of the regular season, 12:30 Eastern, live on YouTube, or you can catch it afterward wherever you get your podcasts. FT fam, let's teach you a little bit about Factor and how you can get your meals done quicker, done more efficiently, and how you can get food that is of the highest quality. I'm talking like filet mignon, salmon, nice chicken, the whole deal. Nice, beautiful little
2 minutes, bro.
2 minutes.
beautiful little container. You know, Kip, you've gotten some, right?
Poke some holes, 2 minutes, it's ready.
Yeah,
It's good.
That's good for Kip's life too. Actually, you're launching all kinds of businesses on the side. You're on FT. Suddenly, you just get a little package in the mail, 6 boxes, put it in the freezer. Yep, 2 minutes.
And don't forget the you don't freeze it, you put it in the fridge. But the juices are really good too.
Yes. Oh, it's in the fridge, but I have one of them right now. Yes, there's juices. There's some breakfast items that you can choose from as well to add on to the cart. 35 different meals, more than 60 add-ons to choose from each week. So you always have new meals to explore, and you can fit your dietary needs. So, if you're looking to follow, say, keto or a certain diet, right, you can kind of put those preferences in and find what you're looking for. So, FT fam, factormeals.com/FOUL50 will get you 50% off your first box, and then 20% off for your next month of boxes. It's FOUL50 is the code, okay? Factormeals.com/FOUL50 to get 50% off your first box, plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. I'm hungry. I will say this, we had a light schedule on Monday. It's fun because you do get to lock in on one game. So I'm hanging out and watching just about all of the Giants and Diamondbacks, but they fell again. Matt Chapman a little inside the Parker. They had 3 home runs off of Eduardo
Giants are
Rodriguez.
freaking wrecking playoff dreams left and right.
They are. It's not a bad team. It's not a good team.
And
It's
they
a very
got Webb
average
going
team.
tonight, hint for a lock.
Mm.
And they're wrecking. They're wrecking. They swept the Royals. Now they're doing damage in Arizona. They're not a team you want to play.
It's a 1.5 game separation.
You're making the best of
They're
that
what?
situation. You're already eliminated just to be, hey, let's go ruin this team's chances or something. Give yourself something to play for.
Yeah, that's their mission right now, and they're doing it. So it's a 1.5 game lead for Arizona over the Atlanta Braves at the moment. 1.5.
Mm-hmm.
Concern level for Diamondbacks fans?
The only thing saving grace is the Mets and the Braves play each other for 3 games.
Right.
Yeah.
So someone's going to lose ground. They're hoping for the Mets to win. So the Braves lose more, right?
Yes.
But
here it is.
I mean, there's 3 games in between the Mets and the Braves coming up here the next 3 days, if weather permitting, because the hurricane. Stand back! There's a hurricane coming. I don't know if you know this or not.
I just found out about it this morning when I was on the
welcome
call.
to Florida.
I didn't know. Someone's like, "There's a hurricane warning in your area." I was like, "There is."
Yeah.
Thursday, right? Here?
Wednesday and Thursday though. But what happens if that game gets rained out? They play it Monday.
Yeah.
Oh. Boy,
well, if Wednesday gets rained out, they do doubleheader Thursday.
Okay,
but you're saying
Thursday's
if Thursday gets
the worst
messed
day.
up in Atlanta, then you play Monday if need be, if you need it.
Oof.
And then you go from there to the next spot.
Yeah, but it hasn't happened in a long time because they try to get rid of that Monday game because they don't want some team to have to play Monday.
Kratz and Todd on Friday were giving me so much crap because they want the game 163 option back. You might get it back.
I wish we had that too. By the way, I want to say this: Crip, I don't know if you saw this, but Helio Ramos tried to break his bat over knee and didn't break. I don't know if you've ever done this, but I have done this before. The first time I tried this and it didn't break and it hurt so bad, and you try to act like it doesn't hurt. And then the next time I did it, I was like, all right, now I know how to do it. And I did learn my lesson. But the first time, if you ever try it, Scott, we'll get Scott to try it on air one time.
I would try it.
And we'll see how
Is it really difficult?
It's harder than you think.
You have to pick the right spot.
Scott, try it.
Yes.
There's a lot of things I won't do. That I would actually try.
What was the lesson you learned? You went closer to the handle?
I'm not giving any hints away. I'm just saying it was harder than I thought. Because if Scott's going to do it, I was going middle, and I swung a C243, and I went right for the middle, and I did not break it, and it hurt like hell. There it is. Watch.
Ooh.
And he's like, okay, don't act like that hurt. That hurt.
That's too high up. That's on his thigh. You need to go like right above the knee, kind of. It hurts so much because not only is you got to hide the limp like it doesn't hurt. So the lesson I learned, because this won't give Scott anything, the lesson I learned was then I would slam it a little bit first, get that first little initial crack, and then go for it.
Ah, yeah, that's smart. But no, you ain't getting that advantage. Like Bo Jackson broke the one over his head.
Yeah, that I'm not doing. I've already taken plenty of hits.
He had a helmet on, so I'll get you a helmet, and we can try that one too.
Yeah, the helmet. Nah, the head. I've taken some hits. I don't need any more than that. I'm losing brain cells left and right, but I will try.
And we will videotape this.
I will do that. At some point. We are on every day, so that one I'm into. Lastly, because we talked about the NL wild card, so tonight Mets Braves post game on YouTube. We have a Mets show. We have a Braves show. They're friends. Woo!
Not tonight. They ain't.
No, they're enemies. Bloodlines tonight. Hammer Territory versus Metsed Up. Crossover episode tonight live on YouTube after the game. I'll be in the chat hanging out, talking smack with everyone. So if you want to learn more about that series and that game, post. And you want to hear how those hosts mix it up, go for it, okay? So check out either the Hammer Territory or the Metsed Up YouTube channel and those podcast pages. FT fam, let's talk Manscaped. Best trimmers in the biz. And if you'd like a little waterproof action, perhaps, you're a shower person, you're covered. Beach, lake, shower, whatever it is, the razor gets the job done. So if you'd like to check out more about their Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, you can go to manscaped.com and also make sure you get yourself the boxers, the shed travel bag. But the trimmers are the star, and the actual star is the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. So, Kip, you've got nice beard action going on. You're very precise with the shaping as well. Beautifully done. Yes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I aspire as well. I went a little short this time. I usually go more along the lines of a 1, but I went like a half, so you almost can't see.
Well, you got a prettier face. I got like a little chin I got to cover up here. You're a little bit more handsome.
I would disagree with that. You got to cover up a chin? I think you just have better depth to your facial hair. See, if I try and go too short, it starts to just disappear, you know?
Oh, yeah, I don't have that problem. Yeah.
There's nice thickness there.
Thank you.
So we're beard guys anyway. So men, if you'd like to do some trimming here or elsewhere, go for it, okay? 2 interchangeable next-gen skin-safe blade heads, part of that Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. So join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with the exclusive offer of 20% off plus free shipping when you go to manscaped.com and use code FOUL20. It's summertime. Well, now it's just about done, but the trimming's easy, or that's what they say. FOUL20 is the code. Go for it. Getting down to the finish line, at least for our regular season locks. So we look back at Monday. Hey, your Bryce Miller K-prop.
And when he covered that, the last 2 hitters, he got
late.
punch outs.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Diamondbacks got to win now. And then they went out and put it down their leg.
You got the –
in a game they had to win, too.
I know. The offense didn't show up, and Eduardo Rodriguez didn't look good.
No.
I mean, they were hitting him good. Ball was carrying a little bit out
Arizona
there.
Diamondbacks have serious pitching questions.
They do. But Miller, that sequence to Jeremy Pena was fire. That was a good at-bat there. And it helped the Mariners win the ball game against the Astros and stay alive, per se. Boston won
for the division. They're alive in the West.
Right.
Contrary to what Ken said. He cooked them weeks ago.
Yes. I did too. But we'll see.
You also cooked the Tigers.
He did.
I did not.
All right. So, Confucius, what do you have for us today?
Confucius
What's
say,
up, FT fan? You know who it is. It's Parlay Pal. You might ask what I'm on right now. I'm on what you call a zero turn, you know, and it's to symbolize we're gonna turn it around. I know he's up $1,000, and now we only up about $400. I don't like it. So I'm a zero turn it around, and I got the absolute 2-game parlay lock for you today. Here we go. 2 teams. It's real simple. Must win. Twins, Royals. Put them together in a parlay. Put 200 on it, and we're going to get that cheese. Now I'm out.
Hey, that's actually bold.
Beauty.
Those are 2
struggle busting.
Struggling. I know that
By the
they're
way, why does
favored.
Pep have his shirt off?
Why not? He's outside, and he works hard he works out hard every day. He's trying to tell the people what's up. So anyway, I guess he took over as Confucius. You're Confucius number 2. What do you think?
Well, I had mentioned this earlier in the game. I am taking, first of all, the Cubs to win. Why? Because the Phillies partied like champions last night. So I'm taking the Cubs, and they have Justin Steele going against kind of a bullpenny. Taijuan Walker's not Taijuan Walker starting, but not a normal starter for the Phillies. So I'm taking the Cubs to win. And I'm also taking the San Francisco Giants. Why? Because Logan Webb in his career against the Diamondbacks, 5-3 with a 2.51.
Wow.
So I'm taking Logan Webb against the struggling Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
And that gets me to plus 298. Or just 2-game parlay.
That's nice. Yeah, and Logan Webb's struggled a little lately. You know he wants to finish strong.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. I like it. Kip, what do you got?
I'm going to kind of continue my theme of huge bets trying to turn around my negative money line for a while, but I'm taking the Braves at home in this big series with the Mets. Because it's a game that I want to watch the most, but I think the home team I want to come out. It's going to be a good matchup between Severino and Schwellenbach, and I just want to take the home team. I want to make this as interesting as fun of baseball as we can down the stretch, so I'm rooting for Atlanta. I think it's minus 145.
There you go. I got
money line bet.
Money line there. Yeah. And throwing down big bucks, right?
Yeah. I'm betting $2K on it since I'm down
2K.
about because I'm down 1,400, I think, and whatever the number was.
I'll get
All
you
right.
about back to even.
That would,
that's
yeah.
trying.
All right, good luck, Kip. I'll go Chicago money line. Yeah, Cubs to win, just nice and simple. 130 to win a hundo. Hangover day for Philadelphia, like AJ said. So good luck on your bets tonight. And if you'd like a little something extra or shot at that, you can play the once a day free to play BetMGM Swing for the Fences game, and you can get your chance at a $50 bonus bet daily. It's free to play. All rewards expire in 24 hours. It's like a game, right? You get a reward if you pick the right part of the strike zone. Reward types include odds boost tokens, SGP boost tokens. And I'd also like to point out that there is a Phillies Slingo available in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. So if you want to check that out, if you happen to be in one of those states, it's exclusive to the BetMGM fam. It's a crossover of slots and bingo with the Phillies baseball theme. And your goal is to get as many horizontal, vertical, or diagonal lines across the board as possible, same way you would do in bingo. And occasionally you can get some wilds, which allow you to pick any spot you want. So the more lines you fill, the bigger the reward. Looks fun. Really, really pretty graphics there. So if you're in those two areas, you want to check that out, go for it. They also have a Tigers game if you're in the Michigan area. Gambling problem or concern? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. FT fam, we'll be right back to slap hands. Crappy move, I think, by one team to cut a couple veterans down the stretch here. We'll see what happens. All right, FT fam, let's get this right here for our Orgain drinks. Wanted to shout them out again here, as earlier on you might not have seen us. So 20% off your order at Orgain.com, or you can find it in, for example, Costco sells many of them. I know some people go that route. So if you want to go that route, that's fine. But if you'd like 20% off, then Orgain is the spot. But the taste is what?
It's good.
Good.
Very good.
Very good.
It's not grainy like a lot of the
protein drinks. Yes. That was the goal. Make it packed with protein, but make it taste good. You can even do a little combo deal. You know, let's say you like a little bit of a coffee boost or something like that. I'll pour a little bit of cold brew right here at the top in there, shake it up, and it's great. So if you'd like to check it out, if you're looking to eat better, if you're in a rush and you're struggling to get the protein that you need, then Orgain puts a lot into making their drinks affordable and packed with protein. So again, go to Orgain.com/FAL and you can use the code FAL for 20% off your order. That's ORGAIN.com/FOUL for 20% off. Make sure you use that promo code FAL so you know that FT sent you over there. I'm telling you, if you've never tried Orgain, give it a shot. You're going to take a sip and go, I've been missing this. Let's slap. First off, congrats on retirement to Charlie Blackmon. Please call us. We are trying to reach you to get you on the show. I know you would enjoy it. But great career. 14 seasons. Had a good time. Yeah. All with the Rockies. You didn't hear about him as much lately just because his team's so irrelevant, but fun dude. Maybe he'll shave the beard now.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't he one of those guys that felt like he needed it while he played?
Yeah, and the mullet, too. He's got a great mullet.
He does. He's a fun guy. It's a fun interview. I used to talk to him a lot, so hopefully we can get him on. But congrats to Charlie. And do we want to get into this Pirates news for a sec? I mean, we only got a minute here.
I mean, I feel like we do.
Yeah. So Michael A. Taylor and Rowdy Tellez got designated for assignment by the Pirates. I have to read more into it, like some roster crunch. They're trying to bring guys up, but these are two of the vets you signed to be with you the entire year, and then you cut them loose with like 4 days left. Is that normal, guys?
No. I don't think
Okay.
it is.
It doesn't make any sense. Why do it now? I guess the minor league season just ended, but what's the? I mean,
You want to get 2 guys up there? It's that worth it for the last few games of the season?
Oh man, it sucks.
Isn't that a bad sign to the rest of your team about how you're doing business?
I don't like it.
You're not in the playoffs. Like, you're not in a playoff push.
If you're going to do this, do it when they got a chance. These guys got a chance to go play. Michael A. Taylor and Rowdy Tellez to go play on a playoff team.
Yeah. Strange. Bothersome, too, you know?
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't like it.
I'd like to see more on this. Hopefully there's some good articles put out there in the Pittsburgh area so we can see what happened and get some quotes too. Obviously Rowdy's our dude, so we'll try and get him on. But you guys seen this? Last week you're on a non-playoff team and they're like, all right, we're cutting some of the veterans. Weird.
For what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it back.
I don't know. Maybe we should let Bob Nutting know, the owner of the Pirates, since he doesn't watch his own team.
Maybe they parked in his parking spot like AJ Burnett did.
That could be, or maybe he doesn't know his team was actually eliminated. Your team's out, Bob. Okay? Checks in the mail. Kip, this was fun. Good to see you, dude.
Good to see you guys. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Yeah. FT fam, of course, we're on every single day. Please subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Valley Sports TV. We love you. We see you every single weekday. It's almost playoff time. Enjoy the games tonight. All right, fam, we're still here. 2-minute warning, 2 minutes, and then we will switch over for Hot Sheet, which is Tuesdays, 3 o'clock Eastern. JJ Cooper and friends joining us, and big guests. I don't think I'm allowed to announce them yet because it's part of some Baseball America awards, but big guests, multiple guests scheduled to join us on the show. So make sure you hit those. The Baseball America YouTube channel is either very easily searchable, or you can just stay here and you can check that out. You have some birthday shout outs?
I do. First of all, there's big birthday days today, and Kip, let me know if any of these names ring a bell, but one of them, Hunter Strickland, obviously we all know him and Bryce Harper's history. 2, Travis Ishikawa, I hate you for that home run you hit in 2014. 3, John McDonald, one of my favorite guys I ever played with. Kevin Millar, your boy from MLB Network. And Moises Sierra, the guy I once threw the ball on purpose and hit him in the back after a strikeout. Happy birthday, because he hit me in the head with his bat and the umpire didn't call it.
Yeah.
And last but not least, Nate Cornejo, I don't know, before your guys' time, pitcher for the Tigers. He once threw a CG against us in Detroit when I was in Minnesota, 2002. I'm not accusing him of anything. I'm just saying, with all due respect, after the game, balls were found that said practice on him that he was pitching, and they were in the ball bag, and he was getting them. We got some foul balls, and they said practice on the balls, so they were the practice balls. And when you the practice balls, I don't think they still use them, but they didn't go as far, so he had mixed them in. There's one CG shut. He didn't win the shutout. It was a CG.
Did you guys complain?
I mean, what were we going to do? The game was over.
Yeah, but still.
But we didn't notice till the end. We hit some foul balls, and
Yeah.
they ended up in the dugout, and guys grabbed him, and after they were like, "Hey, look."
How's the umps not with that?
Because it was just kind of stamped. It was small, so it wasn't unless you really look. They rubbed them up, but these you could see.
That's a scandal. That's
So
like
I mean, listen,
Deflategate.
it didn't matter. We still won the division going away, and the Tigers. And listen, I'm not accusing him of anything. I'm just saying that happened.
Hey, we're here for the conspiracy theories. That's fishy. That's fishy, Kip.
Kind of are
Kip
accusing
is-
him.
I'm not accusing him. I'm just saying somebody, something.
Yeah. I'll add this too to cap our Pirates statement about Rowdy and Michael A. Taylor getting cut with days left to go in the season. You know, Rowdy's numbers since the beginning of June, 277, 330 on base, 478 slug, playing nasty defense, good defense, 12 homers, 48 RBIs. Wasn't underperformance lately. It was just
ever since he met with the kid. Remember the kid? He met with that kid and he went.
Yeah, and he took off. So I'm gonna need to get a little more on that one at some point. You know it. CFT fam, come hang out with us on Baseball America Hot Sheet if you want to hear from some of the top prospects in the sport. They might be joining us.